Good morning, fellow gamers. It's a little bit before 8 in the morning over here in the Netherlands. I haven't even finished my coffee yet. Normally, I don't record videos quite this early, but I figured today, let us mix it up a little bit. Let's see how it goes. I actually have to take my car to the garage later today, so that's why I'm recording a little bit earlier. Anyways, my neighbors are probably wondering why the crazy man next door is once again already talking to himself in a room. Anyways, what I've got for you today is supposed to be an amazing game of Protoss versus Terran, where we find ourselves on Curious Minds. So spotting right here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Protoss probes from South Korea, we have none other than Classic, playing of course for Alpha X. And then his opponent in the opposite corner for the Shopify Rebellion with the red Terran SCVs. Likewise also from Korea, we're looking at ByuN's main command center. Alright, ByuN versus Classic. This is a matchup I could have literally casted in like 2012, but alas, a decade later. These guys are still facing off against each other, which is amazing. I know I actually did a Protoss versus Terran yesterday as well. Hello? Okay. I know I did a Protoss versus Terran actually yesterday as well, but I figured, you know what? Apparently this game is amazing, so let's see how it goes. This was recently played during one of the ESL Open Cups. And several people actually, since this game was played, reached out to me and mentioned that the game is amazing, so I'm excited for it. Yesterday, ByuN actually reached out to me and he was like, oh, Lowko, you gotta cast this game if you haven't already, because it's awesome. I almost lost my voice casting it. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. And since then, several other people mentioned that apparently this game is really good as well, so we're gonna find out together over the course of the next half hour or so. This game is certainly a little bit longer than your average game of Terran versus Protoss. Usually TVPs have the tendency to end quite a bit sooner than that, so I guess if this is a half-hour long game, right, is that enough for the entire map to mine out? I mean, usually there seem to be like two very long types of games of Terran versus Protoss. Either where like, you know, most of the map mines out and everyone's just kind of sitting there, right? Mostly making like a bunch of Tempests and a bunch of battle cruisers and all that, right? We've seen games like that. Or we have those crazy low eco games where neither player really manages to get up to like 40 workers. Which happens a surprising amount as well. Are we gonna lock in the... Oh, I thought we were gonna lock in the Adept over here, but the Adept is gonna teleport away. The probe, I guess, just really wanted to stare at over here at the gateway aggressively. I figured the... Nah, it's out of range. He probably wanted to do that initially, but it's out of range. Anyways, Stargate is gonna go down right here on the low ground for Classic. He should be A-okay. It's been a one base opener right here from ByuN, of course, since he went for that engineering bay block. It's going to be a couple of Hellions here, so at the very least he'll be able to continue some aggression here going forward, but he is going to go for the command center in the main base. The main reason for that is, of course, because of that Adept showing up, and you've only really got one Marine at that point in the game. If you lose the SCV that's building the command center, you're in a lot of trouble, so I actually think if you're like on the lower end of the ladder... Yeah, actually, if you're like playing on the ladder in general, below probably like Masters League, you probably want to go in base expo pretty much every single time. By the way, in yesterday's video, right? I asked in yesterday's video why it is that so many Terran players seem to be allergic to making Ravens. And I got like a dozen Terran players that already like reacted to that comment in yesterday's video below in the comment section below, right? And they literally said, Lowko, we can't afford it. Since we don't get that much gas in the earlier stage of the game, we just can't afford it. Somehow, some way, though, you guys do seem to be able to afford like 8 scans. What is that all about? I get it. I get that it's not part of the build order, but it is kind of ironic when we see heavy Dark Templar play that, you know, the comment as to why you can't go for a Raven is because it's too expensive, but somehow, some way, spending 2,000 minerals worth of scans is totally fine. Especially when there's gases available in the natural. Anyways. Let's see. Where is this gonna go? So we have a relatively randomly placed pylon right here from Classic. Obviously, if Terrans are gonna push on a map like this, they will usually go through this choke point right over here, be it to the natural or be it to the third base. Maybe he wants to get a little bit of info, but, well, for now, ByuN is gonna focus on a Widow Mine drop. Looks like we have some very good targeting here. There is still one Widow Mine that didn't detonate yet. Please don't send all the probes back already. Okay, good. No, dude. Okay. It's early in the morning, Classic. Stop it. Stop playing with my feelings like that. Thought for a second he was going to group up all of the probes right there to go to one mineral field. I've seen that happen. The games at that point, though, are... Look at this, guys! Look, guys. There's a Raven. What? Huh? Crazy stuff, man. Thought you couldn't afford those. Anyways. Turns out in the morning, apparently, I apparently have less chill. I remember actually, I did some live games of StarCraft 2 that I recorded literally like 30 minutes, or 30 minutes, like within 30 minutes of me waking up, right? So, this is, I want to say probably like 2015. If you search early morning StarCraft, you can probably find it. Hold up. Early morning StarCraft. When was this? I've got a video up on YouTube. Oh, I can't find it right now. Anyways, I've got a video up on the YouTube channel somewhere where I play videos within minutes of me waking up, right? I make a video within minutes of me waking up where I play live games of Zerg. And there's not a lot of videos up on the YouTube channel where I'm constantly swearing. but that is one of them. That is one of them where I am not having a grand old time. Turns out in the morning, I guess, I just, yeah, I feel a little bit more feisty. Anyways, what do we have right here? A couple of probes being killed right there, a couple of SCVs being killed as well. Obviously, with the Phoenix opener, you can quite aggressively tech up towards a Colossus here, just because the Terran usually won't be too aggressive. Since the Widowmine drop didn't really deal that much damage, ByuN is going to be forced to sit back even more. And honestly, so far, this game is not really going the Terran players' way. Maybe these Hellions can get some work in? Not really. Not really. Yeah, liking this position for Classic quite a bit. He's got the third base up and running. In the more exposed area. Kind of expected him, with that pylon positioning at the very least, to go for the third base right around over here. He went pylon into pylon and then not a third base very quickly. I guess he was concerned. Anyways. Classic is just sprinkling pylons around the map. Is this his new thing? I mean, obviously this is to spot incoming dropships and things like that, right? So, I guess he just really wants to make sure he's not caught off guard. ByuN obviously very well known to go for multiple drops and all that, but I've got a feeling that these pylons will probably be destroyed before too long. Anyways, yeah, I do kind of like it. So there's a medevac already moving across. So this is something that Mr. Classic can see right now. There it is. ByuN's like, oh no, we've been spotted. Quick boost. Shouldn't work. Shouldn't work, but it does. Ha! Got him. Professional gamer alert. They were on the minimap for probably about a second or two. Protoss, however, didn't notice because he was busy right here microing in the middle of the map. Phoenixes, though, eventually are gonna fly on over in this direction. One Colossus will also start shooting some lasers. This does mean that maybe there's some potential right here for ByuN to move forward. Obviously, the Raven here is not just, you know, for detection and all that, right? It also has a skill called Interference Matrix that can be used on the Colossi. And without the Colossus, yep, there it is. This army from the Protoss is really not that strong. That being said, battery overcharge is quite powerful. Immortal gets targeted down as well. There's not a Colossus. Hello. Okay. Classic also just woke up, I guess, but he does manage to hold there relatively smoothly, all things considered. The Colossus obviously was Interference Matrixed, so didn't get picked off there. And ByuN is gonna have to retreat. But at the very least, he got the third command center done. We already have the +1 flyer attacks, by the way, researching here for Classic. That's a huge indicator that he wants to transition to some I guess, Skytolls here eventually, right? I mean, the thing is, he's got 5 Phoenixes, and they do benefit, of course, from those upgrades. As a matter of fact, Phoenixes, they shoot from each wing, right? When they attack, there's like a little laser that shoots from each wing, so every single time you see one of those upgrades, they gain effectively +2 damage. But Mr. Classic is now finally adding on the Fleet Beacon as well. I was gonna say, I don't think you want to go just for Phoenix upgrades if you want to go for, you know... Ooh, big anti-armor missile right there. I don't think you want to just go for +1 attack right there on the Phoenixes only. So it makes sense to see an additional Stargate going down here too. Classic gonna add on some of the big heavy hitters, and so far that's exactly what he's doing. I kind of like that about Protoss in the current meta. It seems like, broadly speaking, there's like 2 types of Protoss right now. Oh, nice EMP actually, only just enough energy for a couple of lifts, but... the Phoenixes here will not be able to continue doing their harassment here because they're out of energy. They're actually Protoss magicians. Did you know that? Phoenixes. They need energy in order to do anything. I know. Anyways, broadly speaking, it seems that there's a lot of Protoss players like Classic, for example, that's doing what he's doing right now. where he's making Colossus and Disruptors and Tempest, and he's just going for whatever the most gas-heavy unit in the game is, right? He's just going for whatever is the most expensive army. And then you have a lot of Protoss players right now as well that never go above 4 gases, that literally just macro up on Stalker Zealot the entire game long, right? We've seen a lot of examples of that as well. A little bit less common, of course, but certainly something that's a lot of fun to watch as well. And it's actually kind of cool that there's, like, a variety in the ways that Protosses are playing right now. It really has been fascinating how, like, nerfing the Void Ray has seemingly sparked, like, a huge variety in the Protoss openers. Like, Protosses have had more success over the last few months than they have before that, after the Void Ray got nerfed, which really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, obviously, that was mostly with Protoss versus Zerg in mind, right? And I guess the Queen Walks obviously also got quite a bit weaker. Probably the more significant nerf, to be honest. But anyways, it's been fascinating how, like, Protoss seems to be doing better after getting nerfed, if that makes sense. Even though the opposition didn't necessarily get nerfed as much. Anyways, this is a very ballsy expo right here for Classic. Classic going for the one in the bottom left, rather than the one that he's already got protected by a couple of pylons over here. To be fair though, ByuN, not likely to scout this anytime soon, although he might fly a medevac by it here within a minute. He usually likes to go for some medevac drops. Are we going to load up any of these planes? No? No, we're not.
Additional supply depots required.
He oftentimes likes to have medevacs scooting around the outskirts of the map, right? So he would, I guess, stumble upon a nexus there eventually. Yeah, he's actually... Okay, he is... No, what? Where are we... Ah, okay. He's just splitting off the medevacs from the main party. I was thinking he maybe wanted to load them up, but not quite. Wouldn't mind Burrot over there. Anyways, this is giving our Protoss player all the time in the world, and that's exactly what Classic wants, right? So Classic, he needs a little bit of time to actually get those big heavy hitters done. He needs to make sure he gets those attack upgrades as well. I mean, Phoenixes, they benefit from those attack upgrades a lot, but carriers, like I've said in literally every single cast I've ever done, they benefit from those attack upgrades really very much so too. Every single interceptor ship loves those attack upgrades, and since there's 8 of them per carrier and they benefit from it twice each, I mean, it's a lot. Basically what I'm getting at is that attack upgrades and carriers go hand in hand. So if Classic is given a bunch of time to get those upgrades done, he's gonna be a very happy boy. At the same time though, ByuN going for a bit more of a standard looking Terran army here, but it is pretty heavy around the ghosts. Yeah, so we already have 7 ghosts in the mix. That is quite a bit. Generally, I don't really like this position for Terran as much, just because I've seen a lot of Terrans. Okay, yeah, he wants more. He wants more big heavy hitters. Yeah, he needs a couple of more Vikings here. Generally speaking, I like this sort of situation for Protoss a little bit more, just because I've seen Terrans lose really big chunks of their bio army to, like, one Disruptor many times, even at the professional level. ByuN, though, is one of the very best micro players in the world, right? He's very capable of controlling those units well, so he should be able to not, you know, lose everything. Good EMP so far. Good anti-armor missile, too. That's what I mean. One of those Purification Novas in the middle of that Terran army, and Protoss goes attack move, all the units right over there, and he just AFKs, right? That's generally the strategy. He's now going for additional Stargates as well, a second Robo facility. He's gonna go for the Storm upgrade. Classic is just going shopping right now at the mall. He's just won the lottery, and he's just pointing at things that he wants to have. Right, he's going past, like, the watch store. He's going, like, you know, the top-end fashion stuff, like the stuff that's extremely overpriced, right? He's just pointing at things that he likes, and apparently the thing he likes right now is Sonic Storm. He's going +2 upgrades as well, even though he doesn't really have that many ground units. Terran, in the meantime, forced in a little bit more of a defensive position. Good snipe right there with the Tempest actually on the Raven. Yeah, this angle is not it, man. For the Terran, that is. Terran can't really get a whole lot of work done from that angle, and once again, yeah, Protoss gets a nice little fight over here. Okay. One thing to point out, though, is that the Viking count is very quickly growing. Okay, there's another massive EMP as well. ByuN is up with his back against the wall here, though. I don't really like it all too much. 5 additional Tempests are coming up. Classic, though, needs to back off, wait for some of the energy to regenerate here, wait for some of the shields to once again get some, what's it called? Like, some regen here as well. He's now even building shield batteries in the middle of the map. He's been expanding all over. So So Classic is full on in the driver's seat of this game. But ByuN is one of those Terran players who refuses to die, right? So he's going full Ghost Viking here. +3/+3 finally coming up as well. A tactical nuke is coming up. Okay, I like it. Now finally we have a dropship trying to get some work done in the bottom left-hand corner. I think this is the first time that ByuN finds out about this base too. This does pull that Protoss army apart. Obviously this army is not very fast. The carriers are not, you know, the fastest units out there. Fleet beacon? Or sorry, the Terran fleet beacon, the fusion core. Coming right up. Viking count is getting really quite big though. Yeah, we're soon going to be at 20 Vikings. And we're getting into the territory where Terrans can quite literally start one-shotting the carriers. I don't know what the exact number is, but yeah, this is actually a nice little fight right here. I don't know if Classic should even try and come and save this, because now he's fighting without a static defense. ByuN knows that the Terran player is gonna be here, or sorry, that the Protoss player is gonna be here, so needs to be careful though. Okay. The High Templar are quite far in the back. This should never happen though. Oh my god, 2 carriers get picked off for free. Nicely done here by ByuN. A little bit of sloppiness there from Classic. He obviously recalled those towards the bottom left to try and save that base. Okay, trying to scan here for an observer. Yep. Ooh, that's a big storm. Those storms very much so hurt. That being said, with good target firing, yeah, you can basically one-shot all of those Protoss units relatively easily. Good control here from ByuN. He did end up losing quite a few of his Vikings there too. Base in the bottom left, by the way, in the meantime, was cleared out. There's a big storm going down. 1 EMP also does connect with what seems to be 2 of those High Templar. Looks like we're both gonna back off for now. Alright. ByuN needs a little bit of time to bring those units back up to full HP. I would love to see a couple SCVs pulled right here to repair the Vikings. At the same time, Classic just needs to wait for a little bit too to get some of that energy back. He's expanded towards the top right-hand corner instead. And I think he planned to actually finish this game a little bit sooner. But sadly, ByuN, like we all know, refuses to die. He certainly has been trying to be quite aggressive here. But so far, ByuN has not taken that one big spell to the face, right? Sometimes it's a sonic storm, sometimes it's a disruptor hit. So instead we're getting to a point where I guess both players are going to try and just sit there and make as strong an army as possible. +3/+3 is finishing up here for the ByuN units. That includes the ghosts. Really quite significant. Ooh, Dark Templar in a plane. Very nice. Just trying to be as annoying as possible. I'm assuming we already did get the +3 attack, right? Yeah, even +3/+2 here, so we're gonna be at like maxed out Protoss flyers here very soon. Storm? Oh, big storm, very big storm! Oh my god, that's a disaster for ByuN. Loses the majority of those Vikings. Like, it's both their strength and their weakness, right? The fact that they can clump up like that means you can target fire, but it also means that they can take a lot of splash damage. High Templar in the back once again, love it. Good work right there by Classic, getting the units in the right place at the right time. He keeps on trying to bowl a strike right here with those disruptors. Intercept the ships. Quickly rebuilding. Okay, High Templar. Inside of the prison. Tactical nuke. Heading on over towards the top right-hand corner of this map. This is a very likely location, though, to be nuking. Excuse me. So I'm pretty sure that Classic is going to be able to snipe that Ghost. Ghost still ended up landing here in time. At the same moment, though, ByuN decided to take this as an opportunity to fight. Seemed like a bit of a questionable choice initially, going through that choke point right over there. But with all the splash damage here of the Protoss army gone, it seems like he actually chose the correct fight. The Marines right now managed to get underneath that Protoss army, and he actually is forced to now recall. Disruptor coming in from the side. ByuN once again spots it and doesn't take critical amounts of damage. Looks like there was some aggression right over here on the left side of the map too. Base in the top right-hand corner will certainly not live to tell this tale. Look at the ByuN army here now. Pretty much everything is at like red hit points. They will slowly regenerate some of that health, of course. There's another tactical nuke. Alright, ByuN managed to secure a foothold once again. Is gonna continuously fight right over here inside of the bases of Classic. Couple of zealots trying to be as annoying as they possibly can be. They've now spotted where that Ghost Academy is researching another tactical nuke as well. Oh god, Classic. Oh, Classic is going for what seems to be a lucky hit. Just sprinkling a couple of disruptors around the map, hoping that Terran's not paying attention and then bowling a strike. The thing is, yeah, he is within the missile turret, or sorry, the center tower radius right over there. So, I don't know if ByuN realizes that that is what it is, though. Anyways, there's still plenty of money in the bank right over here. Okay, he scans just to confirm what's happening there. Still plenty of money in the bank, so 5 additional carriers are coming up. This is when Terrans get rather rich, right? He's going for the building armor as well as the high-sec auto-tracking. That's +1 ranged on missile turrets as well as planetary fortresses. Not necessarily the most useful upgrade, but it's definitely gonna come in handy. Okay, now we finally have some of the fusion core upgrades. The first one is gonna benefit the Liberators. The second one is gonna benefit the Medivacs. ByuN adding on additional command centers. Whoa. Somehow, some way, this Dark Templar made it past the field of detection. Tactical nuke coming up. Bottom left-hand corner. Dark Templar inside of the natural of the Terran player right now. Massive EMP, though. Lands on the main army. It looks like Classic doesn't care, but this is a fight that he... Can he win this? I mean, I guess he can if he can take out all of those Terran units right over here. If the Terran keeps running, he can't really fight it very well either. Storms? Oh my god, massive storm once again. I was a little bit concerned right there at the beginning of that fight just because of the fact that we did have all of those all of those carriers getting EMP'd right away. High Templar right over here from the left side on the high ground too, dealing a ton of damage. And there's another Templar roaming down towards the low ground. We did see a bunch of probes though being killed right now just by ByuN. Trying to take care of as many of those workers at that mining base. Dark Templar here, still alive, still kicking, still dealing damage. Eventually, though, it does get picked off. Classic at this point, smelling blood in the water. Moving forward. He doesn't have a ton of interceptor ships, but he's got enough, and since they're already out, he can deal a lot of damage. One storm right here on those Vikings, and I think it's GG. Yeah, ByuN forced to back off behind the safety right there of those missile turrets. I actually really like the missile turrets over here. It's kind of like spore crawlers in Zerg vs. Protoss, right? Alright. Classic decides to back off. Waiting, I guess, for his reinforcements to come in. There's the Bio Army, though. Apparently, it was hiding in the top right-hand corner, even though they do snipe those disruptors. Now the Archons get underneath the Medivacs, too. They end up still getting quite a bit of damage in. Beautiful split right here by ByuN, too. Once again, using that Stimpak right there to try and kill all of those interceptors as quickly as possible. There's barely enough HP remaining right now, though, on those Marines. They die in one hit. Yeah, that Archon just got like 5 kills in one attack. ByuN is going to be forced to back off. Classic is starting to run out of money. Every single one of those interceptors is 15 minerals each. That's where he's spending his final money right now. I don't think he can really afford making a zealot here anymore. He needs to start up a new base. Likewise for ByuN, though, ByuN doesn't have a whole lot of money here in the bank anymore either. He's gonna try and go for a command center towards the bottom left-hand corner, fair enough. We have an assimilator that's gonna scout this, which is a little bit awkward. So I guess that makes it clear where Classic needs to be engaging next. Scanning the top right-hand corner also reveals a probe moving on over in that direction. Okay, I think we're just gonna fight in the center of the map instead. Is there enough for Terran, though, to actually clear all of this out? Once again, that's a Viking going out, 2 Vikings going out. A couple of interceptors killed too, but that's still a favorable trade right there for our Protoss. Okay, he's once again on the hunt. Couple of SCVs go down. But ByuN is mining again in the bottom left-hand corner, and that's something. Classic starts up a new nexus in the top right. Keep in mind, these bases have been mining for a while too, right? So they don't have that much money remaining. Although, actually clicking on the minerals here, I guess they never had that many workers on them in the first place. Yeah, Dark Templar here being as annoying as it can be. Okay. Not using a second scan right there, but instead using the EMP right there of the Ghost to reveal that cloak unit. This is incredibly tense right now, though, because both players don't have a lot of money anymore. ByuN is apparently smashing his piggy bank to go for 2 additional missile turrets here, which seems... Oh, okay, it's queued up. which seems a good idea, but I wonder, should he not be spending it on additional units instead? Okay, Disruptor over here gonna go after that missile turret as well as a couple of Marines. Or sorry, the missile turret. Anyways, the Widow Mine. Is there enough? I keep thinking there's not enough for Terran here. Like, these fights have been Terran backing off the entire time. I guess that makes it so that the High Templar and the Disruptors can't really get that much work in. So Classic, once again, yeah, is forced to retreat. Now we're warping in Stalkers, man, which is never a great sign. If Protoss, though, is going to go up against a Terran army based primarily around Vikings, he's still adding on just more and more Vikings here. It's also obviously not ideal. Okay, here we go. Purification Novas. This time do connect at the same time. Okay, interceptor ships right there absolutely murder most of those Vikings. A couple of Stalkers also chasing down whatever army they can. In the meantime, Nexus in the top right did finish up. You should really transfer a couple probes there. Yeah, 12. Okay, this is the problem over here. He really needs to send all of those probes towards the top right-hand corner of the map. Classic still with a supply lead. ByuN has done a much better job, though. Splitting up his workers and optimizing his income. If you look right here at the income per minute. Look at that. Alright, well, I say that. Very soon I don't think this base will live anymore. And with that, the SCVs as well. Obviously, they're very exposed. Is Terran gonna try and defend this? I don't think so, no. There's not a whole lot he can do. And just like that, that economy I was praising about 30 seconds ago is gone. ByuN, 19 workers. Classic. He's got 49. He recalls towards the top right-hand corner, probably expecting that the Terran army is heading on over there, since it didn't come in to try and defend the bottom left. Can we please transfer some probes, Classic? We really do need that, man. Okay, finally some workers are heading on over in that direction. Not from the base that I expected him to, but fair enough. Maybe he kind of forgot about that expo. Soon that mineral field is gonna mine out, so he'll get a notification that he's got some idle workers soon enough. ByuN is sitting on the watchtower. He can see that Protoss army from a mile away. There's an observer. Easily spotted. Nice snipe right there, ByuN.
Mineral field.
Easily spotted if you're looking at it. Oh, yeah, get it. Nicely. Ooh, nicely done. Okay, almost getting one of the Tempests. Barely not getting enough Viking shots in. Yeah, you gotta be very careful, man. When you're going, like, a little too hard on the Viking count, you could just get killed by a bunch of Stalkers and Zealots. So previously we saw, like, 20 plus Vikings, which I think was a bit much. But it looks to me like Classic is transitioning away from this, this air-based army. Okay. He's trying to push this Terran army away as well from the watchtower. Oh my god, ByuN decides to engage. Splits off the units as he always does. That was actually an incredible micro right there, or some incredible micro right there from ByuN. Trying to deal as much damage there as possible. Sniping the majority of the Disruptors. Actually, all of the Disruptors. High Templar though coming in from the north, but ByuN sees their little flippy capes. Their little flippy flappy capes. Yeah, you should snipe him. You should snipe him. Oh my god. 2 High Templar? Okay, just 1. Still though, he's got a nuke available too, by the way. Something worth pointing out. ByuN, once more, up with his back against the wall. He doesn't have a whole lot of mining here, so he's barely getting any income, meaning that he needs to indeed force the issue. Okay, this is good though, by him actually getting so much work done right here with those Vikings, sniping another carrier or two. At this point, Protoss doesn't have a lot of splash damage anymore. I think he actually has... Yeah, he's got 3 High Templar. Okay. These 2 over here definitely have energy, but the one in the top right doesn't have enough energy for a storm anymore. Dude, this static defense over here is nice, but also not very useful. Oh my god, once again, he decides to commit. He actually snipes both of the Disruptors. Storming some of his own Archons right there is Classic. They end up going down. I mean, obviously, those storms were meant for the Bio army. There's only a handful of units remaining right now for ByuN. He's barely got an army, but at the same time, Classic is also running out of stuff. There's still some anti-air remaining right here for our Protoss, or for our Terran player, sniping that last carrier too. Is there enough to get rid of this Tempest right now? All of the ground units from ByuN cleared out all of the ground units of Classic. Okay, those 2 High Templar that were protecting the bottom left are gonna force this Terran army to back off. But the fact that ByuN just won that fight is ridiculous. Oh my god. Okay, hold up. I feel like Classic has been winning this game for the majority of the time, and he's still in a decent spot. But he did just finally end up losing that army that he's been building for the better part of half an hour. ByuN at this moment, he's got a pretty healthy chunk of Marines and Marauders. He's going for a base in the bottom left. Although, yeah, he dropped the Gajillion Mules over there. A Dark Templar is gonna be a bit of a party pooper. That's okay. That's totally fine. In the meantime, though, okay. The base in the top right-hand corner is fully saturated. 1 shield battery to rule them all. The 1 shield battery to find them and in the darkness bind them. For they were all deceived. For another shield battery was made. Okay. The Dark Templar does get killed, but there's already another one lying in wait. Going in right as the scans run out. Just trying to deny this base for as long as possible. This Expo over here is not going to be mining for much longer anymore either. There's the Dark Templar being annoying. Nice moves right here from Classic. 5 additional ghosts are coming up, man. Where did ByuN get that money from? He does still have a nuke available. Okay. The rally point is set up over there. I was going to say, that seems like a very ambitious young ghost over there. But, Classic using those leftover workers that he had in the top right, or at least some of them, to long distance mine the final minerals right there from ByuN. Okay. Let's see. ByuN still has a couple thousand minerals over here in the bottom left. Classic, similarly, I think he has a little bit more right here in the top right. That's those mules at work, I guess, and yeah, when they're mining, they end up bringing a lot of resources home, but they also mine a base out very quickly. Not quite your conventional late-game strategy right here from Classic, but I kind of dig it. Classic, though, still with a 50 supply lead. It's mostly Zealots. I don't know, I've been saying this for a while, but Disruptors can still change this game and end it in pretty much a heartbeat. It's just like, normally, right? Normally Disruptors are a reliable choice against bio units. But there's some Terran players, there's like 3 in the world, where that's not a good idea. And it just so happens to be that ByuN is one of those guys. Where Disruptors might not necessarily be the best counter against Marines and Marauders and Ghosts. I mean, they're still great for zoning, obviously, don't get me wrong. But the majority of the Terran players at this point would have taken one of those things to the face. Probes are even pulled right now as part of the main army, just here to soak a little bit of damage. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Zealots are going to be forced to be recalled as well. They were trying to get some sort of work done. Okay, let's see. Oh, that Disruptor once again did not go off. ByuN with the golden target firing over here, man. That being said, this Protoss army still looks menacing. Is it the probes or is it an actual fighting army? He's backing off to the safety of the planetary fortress if he can, trying to target fire down all of those heavy hitters right here from the Protoss player. Storm once more lands, and yeah, ByuN gets back to safety behind his minerals, or his missile turrets over here, as well as his planetary fortress. This is not that good of a Protoss army. This really isn't that good. It looks menacing because of those probes, but in the majority of that fight, yeah, it was, I guess, a bunch of, like, probes shooting their tasers at a bunch of Marines, right? It really wasn't that scary. Here's a ghost, here's a ghost, here's a ghost. Trying to go for the EMP on all of the High Templar. Does get rid of the energy on a couple of them. Oh my god. Is ByuN actually doing this? No way. Oh my god. Okay, there's another huge storm, though. Maybe he's getting a little bit overly aggressive over here. He does snipe one of those Disruptors once more, but I don't see a whole lot of Protoss units remaining. ByuN is sniping the final Tempest over here, too. And that's it, right? That's gotta be it. I mean... All right, well, that's a great way to wake up, guys. Casting a game of StarCraft is a great way to start your day. Highly recommend. Just set your alarm a little bit sooner every morning and just cast a game of StarCraft and then upload it to YouTube. All jokes aside, I think ByuN just did it. Did he? Classic still is mining in the top right, but honestly, it feels to me like he's processing a loss. He's got 5 Zealots and 3 High Templar. The Terran army is quite a bit better than that. That being said, I mean... Battery overcharge is quite powerful. The problem is it's not gonna run indefinitely, right? It's gonna run out. There you go. He gets picked off. There's the storm. Gotta be careful though, man. He's getting very aggressive. I think you need to get a pick up and get it out. Oh my god, oh my god. Did ByuN just... Ooh, did ByuN just give away a huge lead? Because he actually went a little too aggressively. Oh my god. Hold up. He was in such... Okay. I thought for a second ByuN just gave away what seemed to be finally a game-winning lead. He had been fighting for that one for the better part of half an hour. But then those High Templar came in and stormed down everything. Luckily for him, though, ByuN had a little bit of army remaining there, and he still was obviously macroing up to the best of his abilities. But Classic, in a game where he had full control of everything he ever wanted, right? He could just point out an upgrade and get it. He didn't even have to think about it, right? He was so rich this game, he could make whatever army he liked. In the end, it turns out ByuN was just a little bit too good. Hey, if you made it all the way until the end of this video and you liked it, please hit me up with that like button. It really does help. Thank you.